Afternoon. The Sydney Swans captain says he's deeply shocked, apologising to the women in our lives as the scandal engulfing the AFL club continues to unravel this lunchtime. Callum Mills and coach Dean Cox spoke a short time ago ahead of a historic women's and men's doubleheader this weekend. Chief reporter Chris Reason was at the press conference in Sydney and he joins us now live. Chris, a week of sorted headlines for the Swans. What have they had to say today?
Look, it was a deeply difficult press conference for these two, the captain and coach, to have to give today, Hugh. They came out to face the media after days of being asked questions. They've come and gone from this clubhouse about their daily business, not really able to comment, always saying that they were going to defer to today's press conference. It was extensive, ran for almost 20 minutes as the two of them took every question, didn't take any steps backwards, only saying that there were some issues they couldn't talk about because they were the subject of the police investigation. But basically, first and foremost, apologies to the women around them, particularly the women players in the AFLW team, the staff that work with them, the women in their lives and the women in the community. They went on to express statements of extreme disappointment with the 5 players who've been named in this scandal, and they say they support entirely the sanctions that have been levelled against them, despite the fact that it's now knocked them out of contention effectively from the finals in the AFL, and saying that today is not about the football. This week, not about the football, it is about the women. And particularly, they'd mentioned the victims at the centre of this, saying they hoped that they were getting all the support that they needed. Interestingly, we asked if they had spoken to the 5 players. Callum Mills, captain, said he had. He said that conversation was extremely difficult. We asked would he welcome them back next season. He said that there was no rift in the team. Now, let's take a quick listen to some of what the two of them had to say at that press conference today, Hugh.
I'm deeply shocked and disappointed to be here. And I firstly want to apologise to the AFLW players, our female staff and the women in our lives, our partners, mothers, sisters, and all women within the community. We take these allegations extremely seriously, and we hope the women involved are getting all the support they deserve. We're really disappointed of the actions of these 5 players, and as a playing group, we fully support the club's decision on the sanctions handed down. We take full responsibility, and we are deeply sorry.
I've spoken to the players, and my role as the senior coach is to support our players, but we are fully supportive of the decision the board made. That is unanimous. That'd be outstanding, and it is not a football issue. Monday morning was not a football issue. Yes, the behaviours were breached, and that's why the sanctions were handed down. I've spoken to them about their welfare, and that's what I'll always do. I can't ask them any questions or speak to them about what happened that night because it is a police investigation.
How are they doing?
But as you can imagine, everyone at the football club, or everyone in general, has had different emotions. We've got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do for our football community and for the community in general. That's as honest as I can be, is that, you know, we're willing to put that work in. I think one thing, the stance we made against these actions were really firm. You know, we took accountability for it, we stood up for it, and now we have to forge forward. We have to do it as well as we possibly can, and that's our focus.
Now, all of this was happening, Hugh, with some major breaking angles that were happening off-site here today, specifically an interview given by a lawyer for 2 of the women at the centre of the allegations from Monday morning at the Pullman Hotel. That lawyer from Carbones is saying that he has never seen anything as disgusting and degrading as what his 2 clients have reported to him in the 28 years that he's been in law. Now, those comments, he also went on to say that there were 9 people, according to the girls, inside that room at the time. And he went further than that, saying that he believed that there was senior leadership from the club inside that room. Now, that caused instant, sharp and furious response from the Swans today. They've just released a statement statement minutes ago calling that misinformation. I'll read it out to you. The Sydney Swans can confirm that all investigations carried out by the club have consistently indicated that the only representatives of the club in that room, central to the police investigation, were the 5 players who've been stood down. Now, we have every reason to consider that reports to the contrary are simply false. We're respecting the process, and he also went on to condemn the misinformation. Now, that had happened just before the press conference. We asked Dean Cox, coach, about who was in the room, and we specifically said to him, "Were you?" He paused and said, "No, I wasn't." You could see he was angry with the question. So the Swans now turning and fighting back at some of the misinformation that's been swirling around online. One extra thing as well, Hugh. 7 News has now spoken to the father of the girl, the alleged victim at the centre of this. He, this morning, was deeply distressed as well, saying his daughter was exactly the same. She wasn't with him. She's still interstate. He lives here in New South Wales, and he went on to tell us something which could be critical to this case as well. That he said his daughter, inside that room, as a result of everything that was happening in there, suffered a serious asthma attack, and she claims that no one was there to help her, and that was why she found herself in the foyer asking for assistance. We will have more on that angle and more indeed on this story tonight in 7 News at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, plenty more coverage to come. Chris Reason in Sydney, thank you.